Let me begin with a question. If I asked you, what would you say? Most people would point outward. They would say it lies in wealth, in gold, in the perfect home, in the dream car, in the recognition of others. And yet, look around at the world. Look at the people who have all of those things. Do they look fulfilled? Or do they continue chasing the next thing as if the last treasure wasn't enough? Where does the treasure of life truly lie? The truth is simple but often ignored. We spend our lives digging in the wrong places. We dig outside, thinking the world's pleasures will fill the emptiness inside. But the treasure of real joy, real peace, and real fulfillment does not lie outside. It lies within. Now, let me share a classic story. There was once a poor man who lived in a small village. He spent his days struggling to earn just enough to survive. But at night, he dreamed of finding treasure. One night, he had a vision. He saw a golden chest buried beneath a bridge in a faraway city. Believing the dream, he set out on the journey. Days later, he reached the bridge, but when he tried to dig, a guard stopped him. The man explained his dream and the guard laughed. "Funny," the guard said, "I also had a dream. In my dream, there was treasure buried under the floor of a poor man's hut in a small village." The poor man's eyes widened. He rushed back home, dug beneath his own floor, and there it was. The treasure had been under him the whole time. That's us. We run across the world chasing happiness, not realizing it has always been hidden within. Now let's look at a modern example. Celebrities, billionaires, athletes, many of them reach the heights we dream of. They can buy anything, travel anywhere, do anything. And yet, how many times do we hear stories of their emptiness, addiction, depression, loneliness? Because external success without internal peace is like pouring water into a cracked cup. No matter how much you add, it never stays full. On the other hand, think about a grandmother sitting in her simple home, surrounded by her family. She has little by the world's measure, but her heart is full. She laughs, she prays, she gives thanks. Who has the real treasure? The one with the mansion who cannot sleep, or the one with peace who rests every night in joy? Now let's take the scientific view. Psychologists have studied something called the hedonic treadmill. It means that when you achieve something outside, a new car, a promotion, a luxury holiday, you feel joy, but only for a short time. Soon, the brain resets and you crave more. It's like running on a treadmill. You keep moving, but you never arrive. This is why no amount of more ever satisfies. But research also shows that practices like gratitude, meditation, and acts of kindness rewire the brain for lasting contentment. These are internal treasures. They don't fade, they grow. The spiritual traditions have taught this for thousands of years. In the Bible, Jesus says, "The kingdom of God is within you." In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the soul is satisfied not by external pleasures, but by the joy of the self. The Buddha taught that desire is the root of suffering, that clinging to what is outside keeps us restless, while releasing brings peace. The Sufi mystics spoke of polishing the heart until it reflects the divine light within. All point to the same truth. The real treasure is not out there, it's in here. I can share from my own experience too. There was a time in my life when I thought happiness came from achievements, possessions, recognition. I wanted the business success, the luxury lifestyle, the respect of others. And while I achieved some of those things, the fulfillment was always temporary. But when I began meditating daily, when I began listening to my inner voice, when I started to live with gratitude, I discovered something far more powerful: peace that doesn't depend on the outside. Even when challenges came, I didn't collapse. Even when things were taken away, I remained whole. That's when I truly understood The treasure lies within. So, how can you begin to find it for yourself? Let me give you 5 practical ways. Number 1, practice gratitude daily. Write down 3 things you are thankful for every morning. This simple act shifts your mind from lack to abundance, and you start realizing how rich you already are. Number 2, spend time in stillness. The outside world is loud, but the inside whispers. Through meditation, prayer, or even quiet reflection, you can connect with that deeper treasure within your soul. Number 3, simplify your desires. When you constantly chase more, you never arrive. Learn to distinguish between needs and wants. Often, what you truly need is far less than what the world tells you. Number 4, serve others. The paradox of life is that by giving, you feel richer. When you lift someone else, when you share kindness, you touch the inner treasure of joy that possessions can never give. Number 5, align your actions with your values. The mind is restless when you live against your truth. But when you act in harmony with your highest self, honesty, integrity, compassion, you unlock peace that no outside reward can replace. Let's pause for a moment. If you're resonating with this message, if it reminds you that the treasure you seek has always been within you, then take a second to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel so we can spread this wisdom further. Now let's continue. Let me take you to another classic tale. There was once a king who had everything, armies, palaces, wealth, but he was restless. He called his wise men and asked, "What can give me peace?" One sage gave him a ring with these words engraved inside, "This too shall pass." At first, the king didn't understand, but over time he realized joy and sorrow, success and failure, gain and loss, they all pass. The only treasure that remains is the steady peace inside, untouched by the changing winds of life. Now, let's compare with a modern seeker. Think of someone like Eckhart Tolle. Before he became known worldwide, he lived in depression and despair, constantly seeking happiness outside. But one night in deep suffering, he experienced a shift. He realized that the treasure was not in possessions or even in thoughts, but in the stillness of the present moment. From that moment on, his life changed. He didn't gain wealth first. He found inner peace first. The wealth followed later. This is the great secret. When you find the treasure within, the outside no longer controls you. Whether you have much or little, you remain steady. And ironically, that inner stability often attracts external blessings anyway. But by then, you don't cling to them because you've already found the greater wealth inside. Now, here's something to remember. The outside world will always try to convince you otherwise. Advertisements will scream that happiness comes from buying one more product. Social media will whisper that your life is not enough until you look like them. Society will push you to chase endlessly, but pause, breathe, and remember. All of that is temporary. The real treasure, the eternal one, is the peace of your own heart. As we move to close, let me leave you with this. One day, your possessions will fade. Your titles will be forgotten. Even your body will pass away. But what remains is the state of your soul. Did you cultivate peace, love, joy within? Did you discover the treasure that no thief can steal, no time can decay? That is the only treasure worth chasing. So, where does the treasure lie? It's not across the ocean. It's not hidden in someone else's pocket. It is right here within you, waiting to be uncovered. Don't forget to share this message, like the video, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. And always remember, the greatest treasure is not what you hold in your hands, but what you carry in your heart.